Alright, we are about to get tightening. So yesterday we got absolutely demolished. I mean, I guess we managed to 3-2 with Amulet, so that was fine. So we managed to 3-2 with Amulet, and then we got absolutely demolished with both Knight of the Reliquary decks when we played both in Modern and in Legacy. So yeah, hopefully we do a little bit better today, which shouldn't be too hard, honestly, because yesterday was particularly bad. But yes, I've been really enjoying this list. We've been playing against a lot of control, and Tracker really shines there. So I think I want to try this list again. I was actually considering playing extra trackers here, honestly. So that's what I was thinking today. Maybe maybe it is worth over the Baloth. I'm just, not in love with Baloth right now. I guess it's okay. Um, let's run it again and we'll see. So I will upload the deck list. So this would be Amulet, and today is 7/31/18. And there it is. Amulet 7/31/18. And now this should update the decklist command. Yeah, okay, cool. Paste. Cool. All right. All right. Let's try it out. I can't believe the amount of play points that I lost yesterday was bad. It was bad. But well, here we are. I actually woke up with a bad headache today, so it's not as bad right now, but I hope it doesn't affect my play. Um, okay, so we're on the play with an okay hand. Yeah, this hand is pretty good. This is a turn 4 Titan. Opponent says good luck. I say good luck. Everybody's wishing good luck to everybody. Such good sports. Okay, so best draw right here is of course Amulet. Oh, my opponent's on Tron. Ugh. Um, so best draw is definitely Amulet, and it's not close. And here I am actually going to play this because my other land is a Vesuva. There's no way that I can prevent. Oh, blue Tron. It's actually great for us. Usually the blue Tron matchup is way better than the green Tron matchup for us. Playing around counter magic is not that hard, and they have like cards like Condescend and stuff, which are of course not incredible against us, as you can probably imagine. Um, okay, sure. I don't really care about that. That's fine. Um, yep. Play my Gruul Turf, bounce this, and pass the turn, and play the land again, and Vesuva copy one of my bounce lands, and next turn we should have a prime time. Usually my opponent does not run Dispel or Negate main deck, and we should have enough mana to go squatter them as well. So let's see what my opponent does. So they don't do anything. What I was gonna say is if my opponent plays like something like Oblivion Stone on that turn, maybe it. No, I made a mistake. I click on the wrong land. I wanted to play this. Crap. Okay, how do I save this? I think I just copy their island. That was bad. That was bad. That was definitely a mistake. Did not mean to do that. Okay, so I'm gonna lead on this. I'm gonna play the steerings again. This will hopefully my opponent will make a mistake or something. Okay, they don't. So I think my opponent has Snapcaster and potentially Torrential Gearhulks. So what I can do is I can use this as a setup turn. Or I can just jam. I can use this as a setup turn, or I can just jam. I think I'm gonna take the Growth Chamber here, and because of this, I think I can actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because I can bounce this and replay. So it would be bounce and replay. My opponent can only condescend for 2. So bounce and replay. Bouncing this and play this again. Yeah, so I have enough mana. So I'm gonna try to do this. If this resolves, then it's easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If this resolves, it's easy. If my opponent decides to condescend here, okay, they just let it resolve. So this makes it way easier. Giant. So I was setting up for the plan B of having to transmute and then try to go ahead and do some things in order to prevent my opponent from doing anything next turn by transmuting for a blue pact, but it ended up not mattering because it just resolved. So that's cool. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller so I can see the viewers. And okay, cool. So here my options are, I think it's gonna be Boros Garrison plus Ghost Quarter. So let's think. If I do Boros Garrison plus Ghost Quarter, I can Boros Garrison, bounce the Vesuva, play the Vesuva. No, I'm gonna be one short of being able to ghost quarter them twice. That's really unfortunate. I'm gonna be exactly one short of double ghost quartering my opponent. What I can also do is I can try to risk it. So I can try to risk it and not be able to and not be able to ghost quarter them this turn. So this is so I'll see what my opponent does at end of turn. There's no need for me to do anything here. And by bouncing the Vesuva, I actually give myself the option. So I'm just going to pass here, leaving both scout activations. And if my opponent does something like Thirst for Knowledge or something like that, then I will respond. Or I guess I won't respond, I'll do it like after they resolve it. Yeah, because they thirst here, I think they're actually much more likely to have Tron here, and I don't want to get Ugin or something like that this turn, because next turn I can just simply transmute and yeah, we're gonna do this now. Next turn I can just transmute for Blue Pact and kind of set myself up that way. And I don't want my opponent to get extra mana, so I'm gonna do this right now. And F6. Okay. So now my opponent cannot Tron. Next turn I can attack for 6 with Prime Time and have enough to transmute to. Transmute and go pact for whatever I want. And pact for whatever they could have, I say. Then transmute into... Wow, they are playing Tolaria too. That's cool. That makes sense. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I can play another Prime Time, but I cannot haste it. So my options are, I already have the Tolaria West in hand. My options are attack with Prime Time, go get something, I guess a bounce land plus plus a gemstone mine, which would be an untapped blue source. Play that as my land for turn. This would make me swim for 6 this turn. Can my opponent Ulamog? 7. Yeah, my opponent can Ulamog next turn if they have it, but there's not much I can do about it. I think my best bet, I already have another Prime Time coming down next turn, so I'm going to do this, play a bounce land. The 2 mana from the scouts attacking don't really change the math here, so there's not really any reason for me to be worrying about that. So I want to get myself the most amount of blue sources, so I am for sure able to pay for my pact even through Ulamog and shenanigans like that. So my opponent takes 6 here. On second main, I'm gonna play the gemstone and transmute. And note that I was exactly 1 mana short of double striking that turn. Okay, we get our blue pact and we pass. And I think, I guess I could have done it, but I think it's better for me to be able to have like some kind of protection. For example, if my opponent has like a Ugin plus Condescend or something like that, I don't want to be tapping out. Trinket Mage. Yeah, that guy is fine. Are they gonna Mage for Chalice on 0? I guess they're gonna Mage for Chalice on 0. Yep, 1, 2, 3. I guess I'm packing this then, because I want to still be able to pact for another Titan next turn. 7. Is this card repeal for 6? Yeah, that's not gonna do it. That's not gonna do it, fortunately for us. I guess I'm bouncing this. So maybe, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so I cannot do everything that I want to be doing, which is unfortunate. So we're gonna do this. Gonna play Primeval Titan. And now what we can do is we can get a bounce land plus Slayer's Stronghold, which will allow us to attack this turn. We already have another prime time set up for next turn. And what we can do here is I am going to leave. I cannot double strike this turn, unfortunately. But what I can do, maybe I should have played the Explorer right there. Maybe that was a mistake. What I can do here is I can do this and hold the bounce land in my hand. I guess my opponent could have Snapcaster. So I think it's probably better to bog them. I don't want them drawing cards, or they have not showed me Snap yet though. And now I'm actually gonna get a Gruul Turf because I already used my blue pact, so I don't have as. What is going on? Moto, what's going on? Gruul Turf and Bojuka Bog. Jesus. The hell was that? Actually, I think because I have 2 scouts, it's pretty valuable for me to have the option, the flexibility of Bojuka Bog here. And I guess I'm going to explore just because I can. Yeah, if my opponent has like a Nukin or something, it doesn't matter. Oh, I misclicked through that Explorer. Yeah, I was going to cast it. I just misclicked. So the reason why I bounce the Vesuva is if my opponent has exactly Ulemog and they kill like this and they try to kill my Slayer Stronghold, I can copy it in response, which will allow me to haste the Titan next turn too, or something like that. Field of Ruin, Mere Battlesphere. Jeez. All right, that is not gonna do it though. My opponent has a very weird build. Very weird build. Karn Scion of Urza. So I guess what I'm doing is I'm transmuting for explosives on 0, and that should do it. That's funny. So because of the way things turned out, and I'm actually going to replay the Vesuva copying the Garrison. It's no big deal. I made that decision because I actually had the option because I have 2 Tribe Scouts. But it doesn't really change anything really. Okay. So I have no packs to pay for. Cast another prime time. And now I'm going to be able to haste. I want to leave mana for transmute purposes. That's 6. Yes. Teleria plus Bounce Land. Bounce Teleria. go get engineered explosives. Explosives on 0. My opponent just conceded, yeah. Thanks, Andre Cooper. Yeah, yesterday was rough, so yeah, hopefully it will be better today. So here, Spell Pierce is weird. Spell Pierce can be incredible or it can be awful. If you have it on turn 1, 2, or 3, Spell Pierce can be amazing. If you draw it on turns like 7 or something, then it's awful. Thar is not bad. Tracker is the nuts. Explosives has like some weird like scenarios where it's actually great. I think I want the Abrades. My opponent has a ton of artifacts. I'm actually not sure about the bog. My opponent did not show me Snapcaster Mage. Usually blue Tron decks actually do run 1 or 2 Snapcasters, and they also run sometimes Torrential Gearhawk. I think it's gonna be okay. I think it's gonna be fine. So my opponent is a Chalice deck, and they have like multiple ways to transmit for Chalice. So I will more often than not want to draw an actual threat instead of pacts. So that's the reason why I'm citing out one of the Summoner's Pacts. What else do I want? Ballista seems not awful. I want all my prime times. I want my Rurik. I want all these guys. Tribe Scout, as you guys saw, that game was amazing in these kind of matchups. Maybe I just side out a couple of Explorers. Maybe Steerings over Explorer is better. Like side down 1 Steerings. We'll see. This hand is keepable. We really need to hit a bounce land off of this Steerings because both of our lands are actually gemstone mines. Turn 1 Expedition map. Okay. Turn 1 Chalice on 0. Okay. That's aggressive. Correct. It's definitely correct. My opponent should like slam this Chalice ASAP. But it definitely looked aggressive there. So my opponent have the turn 2 Tron. Yeah, they do. Yes, they do. That's not half bad actually. So my opponent doesn't have any blue mana. So I can explore here. Rex Sage is not awful. Steerings. That's awesome. Yeah. Okay. So there's no need for me to do anything right here, and I have the option of waiting. Now because I have both the Scout and I also have the Amulet in hand, I am able to probably haste a Titan next turn. They went and got Field of Ruin? Holy crap. That's very interesting actually. That's very interesting actually. So I can lead on this. See what happens. And then I have a Ghost Quarter. And then I will pass the turn. I will see what my opponent does. If they activate at end of turn, I can of course rescue whichever land they attempt to kill. And if not, if they don't do anything at their end of turn, I can actually Ghost Quarter the Field of Ruin preemptively, force them to use their Field of Ruin in something else, and then on my turn I'm able to play Simic Growth multiple times. Oh, they just have the natural Tron. Never mind. Must be nice. Must be nice. So you're tapping out for this. What are they doing here? If there's any artifact threat, then this Rex Sage is gonna be gas. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So this game is pretty much over now. This game is pretty much over. So I have my amulet. Yep. So I'm gonna start doing this in case my opponent was trying to be fancy and they were thinking of, I don't know, something like the +3 -3 card. I can't remember its name. That card. Okay, so land drop number 1, land drop number 2. I'm gonna use this right here. So this is gonna make up to 6 mana. I am actually going to bounce this, and at this point I just don't care about my opponent's Field of Ruin. Primeval Titan, yes. I don't think my opponent made a great play over there, and they are going to get rightfully punished. So haste Primeval Titan. Which land do I want to save from Field of Ruin? I think I want to save my Stronghold. And now I can attack. Actually, I can even get Vesuva to copy a second Ghost Quarter, which I think is going to be pretty big. So Vesuva plus, I guess, Simic Growth. Vesuva copy Ghost Quarter. And now I can save the Garrison, I guess. I have no packs to pay for, so it should be good. So swing for 8. And on my second main, do I want to go double go? Yeah, I think I want a double Ghost Quarter. So I am actually going to use a Gemstone Mine counter here. And now, yeah, I don't want to give them mana here. So what if my best timing to double Ghost Quarter them? I think it's right now. Kill that mine. Kill that tower. Maybe there it was wrong. Maybe I should have killed the tower on their upkeep. It's fine though. It's whatever. Okay. So with the Stronghold in hand, explosives on 1, that's not gonna be enough. That is definitely not gonna be enough. You got it, dude. Another amulet. Nice. Because I drew another amulet, I can just try doing this. And if this resolves, then I just win. Remand or Condescend. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Yep, okay, so that resolved. So now I have mana to double strike. And even though I have a mana floating, I'm not gonna play into their counter magic for no reason. It just doesn't make sense, really. For 2 mana, there's no answer they can have. Like double Dismember, I guess, would be the only thing. But yeah. So that's it. That was match number 1. 1-0 over Mono Blue Tron. In my experience, the Mono Blue Tron matchup is actually pretty good. It's definitely way better than the Mono Green Tron. That one is, it's a little bit rough sometimes. But yeah, some people really like Mono Blue Tron for whatever reason. Okay, match number 2. Hopefully we get paired against like Dredge or something like Philo. Maybe something like Boggles would be great. So I think this hand is a keep. If we're playing against something like ACR or something like that, it's not great, but I think it's worth the risk. We'll see what we're playing against. Blood Crypt, Inquisition, no. Faithless Looting. Maybe we are playing against Rich. Hopefully it's not Hollow One. I have no idea what I'm playing against still. It's not Mardu. That part we know. And because it might be Hollow One, I think my best chance is to actually get this Amulet in play ASAP. This makes a lot of my draw steps way better. And them discarding Stomping Ground kind of makes me suspect they could be Hollow One. And the green splash is for, yeah, Burning Inquiry. There we go. Exactly like I thought it could happen. Of course, my turn 2 Rex Sage would have been awesome, but instead I get blown out by by Burning Inquiry. Azusa is our best draw here. Azusa allows us to develop our mana while at the same time so I can pact for Azusa. If I pact for Azusa, I can play second land, bounce Ghost Quarter, play Gemstone, activate Steering, see what I draw, and then play another land. I think it's worth it. It's very awkward, but this gives me the best shot at actually casting a Primetime next turn. And of course, I'm at a somewhat healthy life total still, so I will not chump with this Azusa. If my opponent wants to bolt her, I guess they can, and that of course is bad for me. But if they do not, then I can get enough mana to hardcast a Primetime next turn. These are not good. The Vis was already in my hand, so I want the Samhon to be in my deck. And I'm not going to play around like any kind of like Blood Moon or something like that main deck. You know, it's if they have Blood Moon main, then it's fine. They can take this game. That Rex Sage would have been gas though. Looting. Hopefully they like tap out for an angler or something like that. Well, they discarded an angler. And an adept. So they play Ghast. They get Ghast back. Oddly enough, I usually don't care. Yeah, I usually don't care about my opponent bolting my Azusa, but in this specific scenario, them bolting my Azusa is actually really bad for me. Because now my opponent swings for 6. I guess at least Bloodghast are still not hasty. And my opponent also has the Angler. Yep. Of course they do. That's why they discarded the other one. So this is lethal next turn. And I don't think I have any cards that can save me now. Colony Garden, I guess, saves me. Yeah, if this had been, instead of drawing a pact, I had drawn like actual Azusa, I think I win this game. But having to pay for this pact on my upkeep is gonna be too much. I don't think I can come back from this. That's 9. Yeah, that's very lethal. Colony Garden would have saved me, right? Chump, 4, 6, 8. Yep. If I had drawn exactly Colony Garden instead of this pact, I would have won, probably. But it was not meant to be. That's unfortunate. Let's try again. I always lose against this deck. It's really... People keep saying that the matchup is not terrible, and I just do not agree. Every time I play against it, I just get demolished. I definitely want the Rex Sage. I want the Bailoff to gain to buy time. Tracker's probably not good. Double Rex Sage. Explosives is bad. Carry turn, I think, is what I bring in. In terms of lands, the land that can come out is the Cavern, I guess, or Ghost Quarter. I guess Cavern. Something like this. Oh no, I don't want Ballista. There we go. If this were a relic, I would probably bring it in. I think honestly, Tornwall Script is just not worth the card. I don't think it makes sense to bring it in. So I will just sideboard like this and see what happens. See what happens. Alright, we're on the play. With a reasonable hand that will get absolutely destroyed by Burning Inquiry on turn 1. But this is a turn 2 kill. So if my opponent does like like turn 1 Faithless Looting, I win. Because this is actually a turn 2 kill right here. Is it actually because of the Border's Garrison being in my hand? I think it still is. Might be a little bit more awkward. Yes. I think it still is. So, yep. And my opponent has a 61 card deck. Which is interesting. So hopefully my opponent plays a basic mountain here. Inquiry kind of wrecks me. I mean, it probably wrecks me. It's like, you know, it's random. So maybe if I discard like exactly the 3 cards that I draw, it's fine. I guess if my opponent bolts the scout, it's a little bit annoying. Oh yeah, they're dead. Cool. They are literally dead. Literally very, very dead. Okay, so we bounce this. We play a second Amulet. Activate Scout. Play Simic Growth Chamber. Bounce this Simic, I guess. 1, 2, 3. Play Azusa. Play Simic again. My opponent says, hahaha, the nuts. Yeah. It doesn't happen often, but this is a turn 2 kill. Guess I can bounce this just in case. So I made a mistake. I know. No, we're still fine. We're still fine. We're still fine. Don't worry about it. We're fine. Oh, my opponent just conceded. Okay, I appreciate that. But yeah, so if I for a second I thought that this was like actual prime time, so I go fetch prime time. I play my land for turn. I float the mana, and then I get Stronghold activate twice, haste the Titan. You guys know the drill. And then on the attack trigger, I go get Vesuva plus Sunhome, and whoosh, kill them. So that was good. That was a good way to come back from an awful experience in game one. Do I want to change anything? I honestly do not like Hornet Queen in this matchup. Triple green is not easy to achieve. 7 mana is not easy to achieve, period. And actually, all of the what I realized it ends up happening is you just like have your queen in play and your opponent has a hollow one or an angler in play, and they just don't attack with them, and they just start attacking with phoenixes and bloodghasts, and eventually you have to deal with those phoenixes and bloodghasts, and you need to trade with them with your hornets, and once you finally do, then that's when they start attacking with the big ones and they end up killing you. So it's rough. This is a very interesting hand. I think I'm going to keep. It might be a little bit slow, but Baloth actually helps me. Of course, this hand loses to Blood Moon, like most hands. Burning Inquiry 10-1, no, it's just losing. Okay. Hollow one? No hollow one. Phew. Okay, that's not bad. Now I can try Scout on turn 1 off a forest. I have Colony Garden for chump block, some chump block value. I have Baloth for some like actual life gain and stuff. This is not looking horrendous. Woo! That was so close to whiff. But okay, now I have Amulet. Now I have Primetime mana. I kind of suspect my opponent has Blood Moon though, which would be really unlucky. So this colony is gonna save me some life, which is cool. I don't think I block any of these dudes though. Do they have a bolt for scout? They have the bolt for scout. Okay, so I will play the colony. Okay, still not dead. Then discarding angler there is good for me because I don't want to get clocked super fast. I'm not going to chump this turn because this plant actually allows me to like trade. Okay, they actually have the hollow one. So here it's interesting. Do I want to Azusa or do I want a Baloth? I think I want to Azusa and make it up to 6 mana so I can primetime on the next turn. With primetime I can bog them. Also this will give me an extra plant token, which is also pretty cool. And Baloth should help me stabilize after the fact. So now I have a couple of chump blockers. I can even trade with a Bloodghast if I want to. I probably will not. because I'm interested in making multiple land drops next turn, so I can. If my opponent has Burning Inquiry, though, I'm actually in trouble. Or like another Goblin Lore or something like that. And they, what I mean is, if these Flame Blade Adepts actually grow out of control, then I'm in trouble. Okay. Why? Why did they play the Arithmesa there? Burning Inquiry. They just want to discard all their cards. Okay. What do you guys think are the chances that we actually get lucky here? Because it would be really awesome if we got lucky. Hup. No. This is so ridiculous. This is so ridiculous. I don't think I have ever discarded a Bailoff to a Burning Inquiry. Do they just have lethal with a flashback in Faithless? They have like almost lethal here, right? Wow, that's... I remember one time I had like... I kept a one Bailoff hand and I kept the second Bailoff on top after a scry. My opponent inquired on turn 1 and I discarded 2 of my lands, kept the 2 Bailoffs in my hand, and I died. And my opponent just has lethal. This is so absurd. Okay, so I double block here. And I take 7. I have to chump. Okay. This is so dumb. So I have to jump here, and I have to double block here. So now I take... Wait a second. If I double block 7... Do I want to jump here? Or do I want to trade? 7 plus 4 is 11, so I would go down to 3, but then I play Bailoff, go up to 11. I could go down to 1. I could go down to 1 and keep the Azusa, so next turn I can potentially... Or I can go down to 3 and trade with the Ghast. They got my prime time too. That's just so unfortunate. That's just really unfortunate. On the plus side, the adepts are gonna get small. My opponent does not have any more lootings. Yeah, I think I want to preserve my life total. I'm gonna block like this, which sucks a little bit. Okay. Gemstone mine. So that does literal nothing. Gonna lead on explore, so we can potentially prime time this turn. We do not prime time. Okay. We have a raid though. That's not bad. So maybe we can stabilize here. So let's Bailoff. We have a removal spell for one of their threats. My opponent is actually at 10. So I just have to hope that my opponent does not draw like an angler or something like that. But my opponent is just coming in with everything. So what do I do here? My options are to trade with the Hollow One and kill one of the adepts. That's option 1. I can just abrade the Hollow One, block the Ghast, take 2. I think that's what I'm going to do. Block the Ghast. Destroy target artifact. This is of course bad. Like flame blade eyes are really a pain in the ass. They have an angler, of course they drew an angler. Now next turn I'm forced to jump. I need to draw a prime. If I draw a prime time this turn, I win. Prime time, please, please, prime time, please, please. Okay, so I guess I'm trading with the angler instead of just. I mean, I was trading with the angler anyway, I guess. Wait. No. This matchup is so frustrating. I feel like every single time, like every single match I play against Hollow One ends up like this. With me being barely not getting there. That's not a bad attack from my opponent, actually. They know that they are dead if they attack. I guess I'm coming in. White, red. I can double strike it too, so this would be like the most random. If I manage to steal this one, it would definitely be a weird one. Can I get there, please? Can I get there? Can I get there? Can I get there? Can I get there? This smells like my opponent has lethal. They have a bolt here. Yeah, they have a freaking bolt. So frustrating. So frustrating. Such a... Anyway, moving on. That's really a heartbreaker right there. I felt like we had so many outs, so many ways of getting out of there, and we just drew none of them. And my opponent killed me in the exact last possible turn. But well, what can you do? What can you do? So we are 1-1. We are 1-1. I want to see if I have like enough play points for another league. Holy crap. I had 600 play points yesterday. I don't anymore. So I played, we beat Mono Blue Tron match in the first match, which we won pretty handily. It's that matchup is usually not awful. I'm gonna keep this hand for turn 4 prime time with the potential of finding some other sweet stuff. And then we just lost a total heartbreaker against Hollow One. I'm gonna get the ballista here. I have enough lands to do what I want to be doing. Is this Vantadrassi? Blast from the past. Alright. Oh no, it's just KCI. That makes way more sense. Sure. I guess I'll play ballista on 1. Might as well put some clock. I mean, there's not gonna be a turn down the road where I'm going to be playing a bigger ballista, so might as well play it this turn. See if it gets to do anything at all. Okay. So we have Titans. We have um, we're not gonna have counter spells next turn, which is unfortunate. But we're gonna have a prime time next turn. So hopefully that gets us there. This is also a Rex Sage, which could be important. We will see. Have a bunch of things. And they have the Trawler for sure. And the Land Drop. And the Chromatic Star. Okay. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Okay. So. Land number 1. Land number 2. That was a sick draw, by the way. So now with prime time, we get to haste, we swing in, and on my second main, I can actually transmute. So yeah, this is freaking awesome. And I think I'm transmuting for... Yeah, Bog doesn't do anything, so I am for sure transmuting for Blue Pact. There we go. And I guess I'll bounce this. I want to have all my blue mana in play. Attack with all. Yes. And Delaria plus Simic Growth. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bounce another Simic Growth. So the attack happens. Float 3 mana. Play my Simic Growth and tap. Transmute. Go get a Blue Pact and pass the turn. And I am of course countering KCI here. If my opponent plays a Scrap Trawler, I let it go. And I don't counter it. Because I don't care about a Scrap Trawler. But yeah, that Amulet draw right there was the absolute nuts. That's exactly what I needed to draw. Otherwise, I was going to be just a little bit too slow in order to beat my opponent's draw. They probably had the turn 4 kill all rolled up. So yeah, drawing that Amulet there was huge, and I had exactly enough land drops to prevent this from happening. Counter that crap. Pass the turn. Alright, if you can play another KCI this turn, you got me, opponents. If you don't, you're dead. Wow. Did you guys also see the... That freaked me out for a second. Did you guys also see the KCI coming down? I was like, what, they have another one? Okay. So here, this is funny. I can actually just Rexage kill the Trawler for value. Boop. There you go. I guess that's how you beat KCI. They did not have a bad draw at all, actually. Their draw was pretty good. Okay, I want this. I don't want Tracker. I actually kind of do want a Tracker, though. I don't want Ballista, I don't want Explosives. I want Braids. And I want Spell Pierces. Maybe I do want Rexage. Don't want Bog. I doubt they're playing counter spells. Maybe they are, though. They're playing green-blue instead of the usual green-red. So do I think they have counter spells? In any case, probably the worst card is Colony Garden. So I want all my interaction to be instant speed. Or the most instant speed possible, I guess. I like Tracker in this kind of combo matchups because it comes down early and it is a clock that they need to answer. Otherwise, it will just, win the game by itself. But I think KCI is just a little bit too fast for Tracker to be relevant. I wonder if this member is worth it. I don't think it is. Maybe it is. I just don't think it's worth a card. Just it literally just kills Scrap Troller and they get value from it. Doesn't seem too enticing. Okay. So this hand very badly needs a green source, but being on the draw and having two very important pieces of interaction is actually good. Also, both of these Tolaria Wests can be transmuted in the future for a green source if I am, that desperate. And a Braid is yet another relevant piece of interaction. So at least if I'm not drawing, good cards, at least these are, not the worst. So here I want to leave up Spell Pierce. This starts being the turn that I want to leave up Spell Pierce. So I'm actually, my opponent has the mana next turn to do shenanigans, so I'm gonna be doing this. If my opponent slams KCI here, I can actually pierce it. Get out of here. And I get to actually play Tormod Script here, which is also cool. Having drawn no lands, it's a little bit unfortunate. I really need a green source. Really need a green source. They draw another KCI. Wellspring. Okay. Terrarion. So you're gonna draw a shit ton of cards later. I don't think I'm desperate enough to go squatter myself, or am I? I still cannot pay for Pact. No, I think it's better for me to hold up Summon Respect, I think. So I'm gonna play Tolaria West tapped and pass the turn. To hold up a Braid, I mean. Is there anything I want to kill? This is my opponent's 4th mana source and they don't seem to have anything else. But I don't think it's gonna be good. So they're gonna play KCI here. They sack Citadel, sack Opal, Reservoir. Pay 50 life. So here's a very interesting question. This is the second spell my opponent casts this turn. So what do I abrade here? Do I abrade the Reservoir? Or do I abrade the KCI? If I abrade the Reservoir, I think I abrade the KCI. My opponent might draw into another one, but I think it's my better chance of winning, because then my opponent can, just simply go infinite otherwise with the Reservoir. So here I'm forcing my opponent to sack all of their things right now. And I'm actually stopping the Troller engine because I have the Crypt. So my opponent makes a ton of mana, draws a ton of cards. KCI dies. Reservoir resolves. Maybe this was wrong. But I really don't care about my opponent gaining all of this life. And I don't want to blow up the script until it's absolutely necessary. Oh, is my opponent really gonna get there? It definitely feels like my opponent's gonna get there. We just have infinite chromatic stars. Scrap trawler, okay. Mind stone, okay. So they just like one spell away from winning. Yes, now I'm cracking the Tormod script. So if they draw one spell more, they win. Ah. Well, that just happened. My opponent beat me with exactly what they needed. Literally exactly what they needed. That's funny. Aetherflux Reservoir. That's an interesting win con right there. Do I want to change anything? I don't think I do. Just run it back. Maybe I should have destroyed the reservoir, but what destroying the reservoir does though is my opponent just gets to, you know, still go off with KCI, and they will find another win con. I really doubt that reservoir is their only win con, so I am pretty sure they have something else going on. And this hand does not have a green sword nor a blue sword, so it's not keepable. And this hand is crazy slow, but I will have to keep it. I guess Amulet would be a really good draw. That's also not bad. So at least that that allows me to hold up Spell Pierce. Play Gemstone, pass. Do I count? No, I don't count this Wellspring. Steerings. That's a good one. Play the Crypt. Play the Growth Chamber. I think that was actually pretty huge. Like having Crypt as interaction there. Not half bad. Explosives on 0. Okay, I guess that's interaction. I guess at least I get to stop their explosive loops. Play a land, pass the turn. At least no more explosives for them. And now we have double Spell Pierce. Okay. Sector Varian, Mere Retriever. Okay. Chromatic Star is fine. Semi-growth, pass the turn. This is getting awkward. And I can't even prime time next turn. And I know their hand is Scrap Troller plus, I guess now 4 unknowns. My opponent is very smartly playing around Spell Pierce. I play the Troller. That's a good one. So, I'm going to do this. This gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This gets kind of blown out by Nature's Claim. But I think I'm quite a bit far behind right now. And I just have to go for it. So I'm just going to Slamify Mabel Titan here. Nothing like saying this gets blown up by this play, and then your opponent has exactly that. Feels bad, man. So I'm gonna get Bog plus T West here, I think. And just hope. Cross my fingers and hope they don't have it. At least the Inventor's Fair is not doing anything for them. But if they just have the KCI in hand, I think I just lose. Again, I was just, you know, feeling kind of forced into that play. They just have the KCI in hand. Of course, they have the KCI in hand. I guess I could have waited one more turn. But I mean, if you look at, you know, the board, then, you know, one spell pierce were still not gonna do it. I guess I could have held up both spell pierces. I don't know. Maybe I fucked up. But they need to have exactly. It had to be Nature's Claim and nothing else. Like that was the only card that beats me right there. Anyway, this is frustrating. This is frustrating. I just have been on a really bad streak. Really bad streak lately. Maybe that one was a mistake, though. Actually, yeah, maybe I should have just. Maybe I should have just waited. Probably just play the Amulet, see what my opponent does, and then, you know, wait for yet another turn, holding up double spell pierce. Just really tough. Just really tough. I was just feeling that I was just a little bit too far behind in order to wait. I was just feeling like I needed to move. And this should be, yeah, this is lethal now. Give my opponent the GG's. Okay. Now we have to rescue a 3-2. Now we have to rescue a 3-2. Because otherwise I have no more playing points. Ew. This is as sketchy as it gets. I think I'm gonna keep. One bounce land makes this hand great. And I have like 1, 2, 3 draw steps to find a land, or I guess Ancient Styrix is also pretty good. Finally, we get paired against a good matchup. That one is not a good draw. Definitely not a good draw. Our 6 drop. Let's see what they do here. Brutality 2 modes, probably. Inquisition. Okay. They have to take the Explorer here. I guess Tracker is also a consideration. But, I mean, I just think that they have to get lucky. And give me the least amount of... Nope. They just take the Tracker. Bolt. That's fine. Worst possible draw in the deck. Sure. Land. Holy crap. Okay. 28 lands. So this looks like we're gonna lose this. We still have a lot of dead draws. And my opponent is probably gonna drop like a Tarmogoyf for a Bob here, and that's gonna run away with the game. It's a Tarmo. That's like at least the least bad. Bob would have been much worse than a Goyf here. This is 5-turn clock. Well, at least looks my opponent's also missing land drops. Land, please. Pretty please. Land, please. That's not a bad one, actually. That's a chump blocker right there. Again, bounce land is bar none my best draw. So I can play Asusa plus bounce land. Liliana. Liliana would be bad for me. Liliana would be really bad for me. Hey, that's a Liliana. Did I say it would be bad for me? I'm discarding this pact here. It's my opponent knows about this, so maybe it will disincentivize them to like Inquisition me or something. Taking the 5 here. Holy crap. Alright, if we happen to make it to 6 mana, we're in a good spot, that's for sure. We need to make it to 6 mana though. Which doesn't look good. Definitely does not look good for us. Okay, so worst thing that my opponent can have for me, it's a Kolaghan's Command, and again, like I said already a couple of times, bounce land is gonna be our best draw. I guess Ancient Stirrings now also turns into a pretty good draw as well. But yeah. Why is my opponent like 4 minutes behind me on clock? Maybe they are double queuing or something. I love that we have literally used 30 seconds of our clock. Bloodbraid. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, second Goyf. Okay. That one is problematic. That Bob is actually problematic. Going down to 10. Bounce land, please. Gemstone mine. It's not a bounce land. I guess this makes explosives a really good route now. Actually, if I happen to draw an explosives, I kind of feel like I'm far ahead, because I get to like blow up my opponent's board, attack the Liliana, so it doesn't ultimate next turn, and then have pretty good outs still. There's the Bloodbraid. Is this actually lethal now? I guess not, but it forces a chump. Not lethal, but it forces a chump. If they Bloodbraid into removal spell, then it's actually... Oh, no, they can just minus, right? Yeah, my opponent saw the line. Yeah, so they just minus, they played Bloodbraid, and they just swing for lethal. My opponent really plays slowly. I guess they really want to think their plays through, but it's just like, what's there to think? Oh, they just have to... Sure. Whatevs. What are they even playing around? I don't even know. Anyway, so Jund. Jund is overall a good matchup if we, you know, it's good when we draw lands. Pact of Negation is a terrible card. We want all of our removal. And we want extra threats. Against Junk, I like bringing in Costlix Returns and probably Fire Spout because they have Lingering Souls and stuff. But against Jund specifically, they only kill Bobs and like Ooze, which didn't need anything, and that's just not worth it. It's just too risky. And then I like siding out Amulets, since they are a terrible top deck and they are not really good. And I could side out a land, but I think I am going to side out one Explorer or one Azusa. Probably Azusa. Yeah. I'm leaving it Rex Sage because Jund lists now have been running Damping Sphere, which is very much a pain in the ass. I guess it kind of leaves the out to something like Beetle Blossom or something like that if my opponent happens to be playing that, which I don't think they might. So this is the same hand we had before. We have everything we want, but we're a little bit short on lands. So I'm gonna keep it again, and then I might get punished again. Or if we actually happen to draw any lands, we actually definitely win. So let's see what my opponent has going on. Are they gonna kill it, or are they gonna Inquisition me on turn 1? If they know the deck, they should definitely kill the Scout over playing a discard spell here. Unless they wanna... Or just fetch for X6, get that X6 value. Sounds good. Okay, so this is actually not bad. I'm going to play this. And I'm going to pass the turn. And what this does is this basically turns this Tolaria West into a bounce land, and this bounce land will then bounce the Vesuva, and the Vesuva will, you know, copy the bounce land. So this is actually an amazing draw here. This is actually a really, really good draw. Okay, so what does my opponent have here? Bob? No, Goif. Okay. So I'm feeling pretty good about this game. Feeling pretty good about this game. Okay, so you guys check it out. What we're gonna do here is going to untap. We're gonna tap 3 mana, transmute Teleria West, go find a Semi-Growth Chamber, and play Semi-Growth Chamber for a turn. This will then bounce our Vesuva. And now Vesuva will, at my opponent's end of turn, and come into play, copy Semi-Growth Chamber, which will then bounce the Gemstone Mine. And this, now, just because we drew that Vesuva, we are able to actually have enough mana to prime time on the next turn. Unless my opponent has something like Fulminator Mage, which I guess they could. They could definitely have Fulminator here, which would be annoying. It would not be the end of the world or anything close, but it would be annoying. Oh, Liliana is not bad. Liliana is whatever. Liliana plus. I think I discard a Sousa. Swing? Please? You want to swing? Yeah. Yeah, get in there, Tarmogoyf. So I copy Semi-Growth Chamber. And this game is pretty close to over now. This Primeval Titan can go get probably, depending on what I draw, but it's probably gonna go get Colony Garden plus a bounce land. Probably Bordos Garrison. It's gonna be Colony Garden plus Bordos Garrison. Considering that, you know, next turn my opponent would need to have exactly Maelstrom Pulse plus Thoughtseize, and now doesn't even do it. Yeah, so I am definitely going down that route. So Colony protects me from Liliana minus. And Primetime is going to win this game by himself. So I'm pretty far ahead, so I think I'm going to get the Bordos Garrison here. We got a plant. And I think that the extra plant is actually more worth it than the 1 damage. Why does my opponent have no red mana though? Oh, there we go. They're gonna spin the wheel. Are they gonna spin the wheel? Next turn we have enough mana to... Yeah, they're gonna spin the wheel. Next turn we have enough mana to play and haste a Primeval Titan. So even if this actually does find Maelstrom Pulse, it just doesn't really matter. Decay doesn't do much. Guess it's gonna kill my scout. Yep. Kill my scout, and I will play my dude. I guess this grows the Goyf to a 3/4. No Liliana activation? No Liliana activation is weird. Okay, there we go. That's what I was thinking. It's weird that they would not activate Liliana there. Okay. So this makes it pretty easy, right? No, it's actually not that easy. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I only have 1 land drop, so I cannot haste and abrade this turn. I think I come at them though. I don't think this Liliana is relevant anymore. And I can even transmute for explosives if I want to. I can actually bog them. That's not bad. Bog plus bounce land, get some extra chump blockers. Or I guess I can like double bog them. It just it just doesn't really matter. My opponent is super dead here. I guess I will bounce the Bojuka Bog. I guess I'll play into Maelstrom Pulse just because I don't care. Next turn I can even Queen if I want to. I can go get Ballista. I'm just crazy far ahead here. I guess I hold the bog in hand, depending on what my opponent does here. I might need to discard it to Liliana Plus. Since at this point the Thermowave doesn't really matter, because I can kill it next turn using the explosives, one of the explosives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can only Ballista for 5. Let's say the Maelstrom pulls my prime times. I play another prime time and don't care. Yeah, so when we draw lands, this matchup is just unfair. Sure, they have a noose. So I guess we're gonna kill 2 things with engineer explosives. So that's good. So it's nice to get some extra value. Get some 2-for-1 action. So they do nothing. So this is gonna be straightforward. Engineered explosives. 1, 2. Is this enough for a concession? Is this enough for a concession? I guess it's not. Alright, we'll go through it. Ugh, they even tapped wrong. Poor opponent. You're gonna dismember something? Yeah. No, they just made a mistake. And this is over. I mean, my opponent used so much of their clock and now they are not conceding. That's kind of rude. That is kind of rude. There we go. Thank you. Okay, I will be right back. I really like my setup for this matchup, so I don't think I will be changing anything. But you know, this is what we're doing. Okay. Um. Yeah, this is fine. Get back in there. Yeah, I mean, the matchup is pretty good for us, I would think. I always feel very favored against John. Usually, the matches that I lose are like game one, where I just keep a risky hand that just doesn't get there. Even though when you take the percentages, I imagine that we were pretty likely to hit some more lands, but it just didn't happen. Um, so it's either something like that or like this I'm not gonna keep. You got poker though. Um, Amazing poker hand. I am basically the other way that we lose is my opponent goes turn one discard spell into turn two Bob or Tarmogoyf, and they go straight into and they go like straight into turn three Liliana or turn three Fulminator or something like that. Now this is really interesting. I think I want to top this to kind of hedge against my opponent having some kind of discard spell, which they do not have. Cool. So hopefully this finds a bounce land. Nice. And we have some real, very real interaction in the form of explosives. We have some medium interaction in the form of a Lista, and we have an actual threat in the form of that Summoner's Pact right there. So I am not feeling awful about our position. It would be nice to find something like, let's say, Sacred Tribe Scout or something like that. Hilarious. That was actually pretty bad. So do I want to play around Fulminator here? I think I do. I'm just gonna play this. That is Fulminator mana. That's what that is. Tarmogoyf is fine. Maybe my opponent is sandbagging the Fulminator. At this point, I'm getting to the point where I actually need to play into Fulminator, but I want to give myself the out of drawing a Susa. So that's why I'm kind of trying to hold this back and try to wait for as long as possible. I mean, if we make it to 6 or 7 mana, we just win, because my opponent cannot beat these two cards. So there's that, which is cool. No Blood Raid, please. They do have Blood Raid. Crap. Crap, crap, crap. Crap Troller. That's a Blood Raid. Oos. Oos is fine. Oos I don't really care about, because I can just kill it next turn. So my opponent comes in for 4. It would be nice to draw like a Colony Garden or something like that. Some land that actually, gives us some value. That's not bad, but it's just a little bit too late for it. Next turn I can blow up both of his big threats, but I'm gonna be taking 3. If my opponent attacks with Ravine next turn, I'm actually in a lot of trouble. So maybe I need to play explosives here preemptively. So if that happens, my opponent has an answer to it. They blow it up. And next turn I can explore, play 2 lands, and I can Ballista to chump. But then at that point the Goif is going to be a little bit too big. But if they blow it up, they are not attacking with Ravine. So that's good for me. That makes it so it's not actually a 2-turn clock. Why does my opponent take so long? They're definitely double queuing, or just like they went to do something else. This is really frustrating, especially when you are like, you know, in a tough spot and you want the game to move forward. This is just... it's a little bit annoying. And I'm going to, I'm going to drop the explosives right now. My opponent has an answer, they have an answer. But I don't think I can afford to let my opponent attack with Ravine next turn, because if they do, then that's actually lethal over the course of 2 turns. And I need to idolize this 2 mana somehow. If I manage to survive though, I think if this doesn't get blown up, I use 2 mana to explore, play 1 land, 2 lands, no. Because I will need to Ballista. This is actually interesting. Maybe I should have actually played Ballista there, but I think it's more likely that they have an answer to Ballista than they have an answer to explosives. Okay, so they do not have an answer to explosives, but they have Fulminator. Fulminator would be backbreaking here. Liliana is fine. Liliana's fine. Okay, cool. Liliana, I don't really care about. Wow, Liliana no discard. Liliana no discard. Okay. So how do I want to sequence this? Now if my opponent pluses though, this pact is actually pretty good because I can actually get Baloth with this. So I need to use 2 mana to blow this up, and I need to use, I can basically play Ballista, and this I think gives me the most blockers. So I do this. I pay 1, play Scout, pay 2, play Ballista on 1, and I don't need to crack the explosives here. I suspect my opponent has like 1 or 2 bolts in hand actually, because of how they've been playing. So if my opponent has 1 or 2 bolts in hand, they are leaving themselves the out to draw. If they ban us, I'm just gonna sack the Ballista, and I'm gonna blow up the Ooze and the Goif. If we survive this turn, we win, I think. If they plus, I don't think I go for Baloth, because I just died to Fulminator. So here I'm just blowing up the explosives, and that's it. I don't think I need to chump here. Even 2 bolts are not lethal. Bolt the Scout, okay. You got it. Sounds good. Depending on what they do here. Second Ooze. Okay, that's fine. Liliana plus or no Liliana plus? They're gonna eat right now, that makes sense too. Okay. So everything just happens. Here I have 1 land drop. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to explore here. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to just put a counter on the ballista. No, actually my opponent is setting up lethal here. My opponent is actually setting up lethal here. So they minus, I can go to 1. I can hardcast Bailoth here, or I can actually go fetch Azusa. I think going to fetch Azusa is the best thing I can be doing here, right? I Azusa, cast it, get 1 land drop, exile the yard so the ooze cannot grow anymore. But then I need to survive 2 turns. Can I survive 2 turns? This kind of checks the Liliana because they have not been upticking. Yeah, I think I'm going to go get Azusa here. It's actually super interesting. This is actually super interesting, but I think there's a lot of value in bouncing this bog so I can blow up my opponent's yard and this ooze cannot grow. Get an Azusa. 1, 2, 3. So now I have a bunch of land drops. Man, it would have been really nice to draw like a Kalni Garden at some point. Bounce this. Play this. Bounce this. Now I can pay for... Blow that up. Next one I can play 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I think I'll just do this and bounce this. All my lands sent to the battlefield tapped, which is a little bit unfortunate, but it's fine, I think. So next one I play 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I draw an untapped source, I can actually potentially hardcast Hornet Queen. But I still have a pack to pay. And I probably need to do some chump blocking this turn. Terminate the Azusa. Oh, this is actually lethal. Okay. So they just got me. Now they minus. On the ballista, they grow the ooze. Yeah, this is unfortunate. Maybe gating the Bailoth was the best line. Maybe gating the Bailoth was the best line. I don't know. It's rough. Wow. I have not cashed 2 leagues with Amulet, and like in the past 2 or 3 months, I think these are the yesterday and the day before. No, yesterday and one time last week, I think, were the only 2 times I did not cash a league with Amulet. Even playing against what is overall a good matchup. I was just playing around Fulminator for so long. Oh, that this guy would have been pretty good. I was just playing around Fulminator for so long that maybe I should not have been doing that. Let's run another one. Let's run another one though. I think the list is good. I don't think I want to change it. We're gonna have to use tickets. So we lost 1-2 against Jund. Yeah, Jund won the SCG Open, right? That's pretty crazy. Don't lucky withdraw. I don't know what that means. Oh, you mean that I was not lucky with my draws? I mean, yeah, but I mean, there was probably something that I did earlier that You know that I always try to see if there are mistakes that I made. Sometimes they are, sometimes they are not. Like for example, like we lost against KCR earlier because I played I made a play that was getting blown out by Amulet by a Nature's Claim, but I just felt like I was, you know, I could have not died that turn basically, but I just felt like I was a little bit too far behind to to kind of, you know, I felt forced to do something. And I think if I were in that same position again, I would probably do the same thing again. This hand has a really high upside, so I'm gonna keep it. If we draw a bounce land, this is a turn 3 Primeval Titan with haste because of the Amulet. That's a funny avatar right there. Ox, the Transmogrified Treasure. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? Who knows? I guess it's that thing. Oh, humans. Okay. This hand is not bad against humans actually. There's our bounce land, so that's not bad draw at all. So next turn we can get our second source, and we even have an explosives. So can we prime time next turn? I play my Tularia West. I play this once, I play this twice, I go up to 7 mana, but I do not have double green. Ugh. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. My opponent does have the Meddling Mage though. I'm pretty sure they're gonna name Primeval Titan right now. Yes, that is exactly what they name. Fortunately, we already have an answer in hand. So there's not much to worry about with that one. Just gonna come in for 2 and I'm gonna let it go. And I will pass the turn. Bojuku Bog is not good. Okay, so what can I do this turn? So I do 1 bounce land. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 mana total. That is 3 for transmuting for another bounce land and 2 for the to crack the explosives. Is that enough? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I go down to 1 because I have to transmute, and then I have 1, 2, the 1, and I have basically I'm forced to use my gemstone mine counter, which I think it's fine since I don't think my opponent has an answer for this. So transmute here. Go get green and blue bounce land. And I am actually going to add white here. That's fine. Gemstone dies, but it's okay. Play an explosives on 2 and pass the turn. I guess we are like a little bit we get got by Reflector Mage with this play because now I don't have double green anymore. So maybe that's something that I should have considered. Sweet, so we good. We are good then, don't worry about it. Lieutenant. Okay. Yeah, so I am going to blow this up right now. There's no need for me to take damage that I don't need to be taking. And I will not have enough mana to do this next turn anyway. I guess I will. But you know, I might as well do it right now. Crack this. Bounce this. Take 5. Okay, so land drop number 1. Very good. Land drop number 2. So now I can actually, I guess I can bounce this and go just fetch. Could go get fetch gemstone mine plus stronghold. So gemstone mine plus Slayer's stronghold. This guy white. Yes. So if my opponent has Reflector Mage, what do I want to be doing here? I think I want to go get Colony Garden, and I will want to have the ability to transmute for Ballista, which is going to be my other main deck answer to another basically Reflector Mage into Reflector Mage into what am I trying to say here? Reflector Mage into another Medley Mage. That's what I mean. So I definitely want the Colony, and I probably want another bounce land to hold in my hand since I already have a Tularia West. Bounce this. Swing for 8. I doubt my opponent blocks here. They do not. So now I have a chump blocker, and now I have also a Tribe Scout. And next turn I don't have a pack to pay for, so I can transmute for either a second prime time, and if my opponent Reflector Mages this one, I can transmute for either. I mean, Pact of Negation doesn't make much sense, but I can go get Ballista as an answer to a future Meddling Mage. So I think I should be in a pretty decent spot right here. I think I should be in a good spot. Is he gonna do? Oh, okay. I was thinking that he was going to do the classic. When sometimes my humans or my merfolk opponents play Phantasmal Image and they copy my prime time, and it's just like that's just not a good play. My Primeval Titan is gonna be way better than your Primeval Titan. I don't think I need to explain why that is. And also, it's really funny, but actually Phantasmal Image just dies to it getting targeted by Slayer Stronghold. So that's also really funny, but it's something that comes up quite often against humans, and you know, when sometimes people still play Merfolk, so against Merfolk it also comes up sometimes. Which is a really funny interaction, but you know. Okay, so here I can haste. Yeah, this basically forces the chump, right? So I am just going to go with this. There's no need for me to play this preemptively. I can just go ahead and attack. My opponent is forced to chump, and I will get my Primeval Titan double strike. Yeah, they just get it. So humans, backed out, bog out, removal in, queen in, explosives in. It's good to have both explosives and ballista in this matchup. Primeval Titan, we can side one of them out. This is in order to like minimize the impact of Meddling Mage in a matchup like this. Tracker is not great, you know, it gets bounced and stuff, and you know, it's just not great in this matchup. And then Pact is not great against Thalia, but Explorer is even worse. So we have all of our removal. We have the one of Rex Sage. It randomly kills other vials, which sometimes really gets them, and sometimes it's just blah. But it's mostly because of Damping Sphere. That's definitely a card that I want to be able to deal with. Last time I brought in Baloth, and he was not awful, actually. Maybe over 1 Steerings. Yeah, maybe over 1 Steerings. Yeah, I brought in Baloth, and my opponent have a board of like multiple Melee Mage, an Asusa, and one of the Bogglers, the 2/3 Vigilance guys. And then Baloth came down, and I was at 22, and my opponent just could not attack anymore. It was really funny. They ended up bouncing the Baloth, and then I played a prime time the following turn. It was pretty good, actually. Ooh, so this hand is a sketchy one. So this is a potential turn 4 Primeval Titan. I just don't think that's gonna be fast enough against humans. They kept 7 and they're on the play. I think I'm gonna mulligan. I need to be greedier than this. Okay, sure. Bottom that, I really need green or red source. Now I do have some pretty good interaction though. Pretty good pieces of interaction. I'm really dying for a green source here though. Okay, so now this leaves the not draw as an out. So that's something. I just hope that I'm not forced to Eon. They have the freebooter. Yuck. Basically Cabal therapy here. That's like the best Thoughtseize ever. They can literally take any card. Literally any card from my hand. What do they take here? Probably the steerings, I guess? Do they want to take my threats? Do they want to take my removal? It's actually really tricky for them. I'm really quickly getting desperate for a green source though. I think if I do not draw a green source in this coming turn, I don't think I can come back. Maybe double Amulet is absurd enough that I can come back, but I don't think so. I don't even know if Amulet if humans players are still playing Rexage in the sideboard. Is that a card that they are still running? I guess I can check out real quick. I think there were a couple of humans players in the top 8. The top 8 from the last SG Open. Alright, let's check this out, because I'm actually interested. Modern Open. So, Kataki, one-off Reclamation Sage. One of the lists has a one-off Reclamation Sage. The other list has 2 Reclamation Sage. So yeah, so definitely it's a played card, and I think both lists are actually running Damping Sphere. No, one of the lists is not running Damping Sphere, the other one is. So I guess he could be running Damping Sphere, or he could not be running it. But he for sure brought in at least 1 Rex Sage, maybe 2. Wow, my opponent's really tanking hard on this one. It's been like 3 minutes that they've been thinking about this. Jeez. Okay. So I guess we're waiting. Okay, they figured out. They took the steerings. So I think I have to play this. What do I copy? I think I copy the T-West. Yeah, I think I have to copy the T-West. Okay, so now if I draw a green Bowsland, I just have the win. Of course, my opponent is going to have cards of their own. Yeah, so it would, yeah. If my opponent had played this one earlier, I would have been able to get that. Teague. Now this is just straight bad sideboarding. That's just this is just not a good card against me. I mean, I guess it's good specifically in this context right now, but I mean, you're dead now, right? Now my opponent is just dead. I guess they're forced to chump. No, they're not forced to chump because I still need to have. Okay, so I have the 1 land drop. I play Simigrowth next turn. No, I need to play around. I don't think I can kill him this turn. The reason for that is if my opponent double chumps, then I just cannot. My opponent is not only not dead, but I am actually dead when I need to pay for my pact on my own upkeep. So my opponent took a risky line, and they were, you know, punished severely. Okay, so Border's Garrison plus Slayer's Stronghold. Is the bug on? Yep, the bug hit us, so I need to do it this way. It's so shitty. Like it really bothers me that I need to be playing around a bug that it has been around for so long, and for whatever reason it's not fixed. I have no idea how many times I've complained already about this bug, and they just don't fix it. I mean, what is the problem? Why are they not fixing it? Anyway, so is there some other way that I can get value? I think I probably want to get a Colony Garden, for example. I think I probably want to get Colony Garden. This will allow me to pay for my pact on upkeep. And so if things get out of hand, I can always upgrade the Teague. I already have a T-West in hand, and this Vesuva is probably going to come down next turn and probably copy the Simigrowth. So I think I want Colony, and I'm just going to get a Gemstone Mine here. The reason for this is that I don't want to die to Damping Sphere. So I want 2 non-bounce land sources of mana, and I think this is going to be the best combination. I could also use Grove, but I think we're going to be racing, so I don't want to be giving my opponent life. How's it going, Ikasi? Not great. We already won 3 a league today. And yesterday I had like my worst day in Magic Online for like the past very long time, basically. So we have not been having the best last couple of days. But okay, we already 1-0 over this Humans player, so that part is good at least. Yeah, it's been rough. Yesterday in particular, it was. I don't know. I just couldn't win a match. I just could not get there. It was pretty bad. But yeah, so I started yesterday with 600 play points, and today I just lost my last. So this league I actually had to enter with actual tickets, which always feels really bad. Okay. So what is my opponent doing here? Mantis Rider. I guess they're trying to race. They just concede, okay. Sweet. Beating humans always feels good. Beating humans always feels good. I honestly don't think the humans matchup is as bad as people say. I think it's just a good deck, which of course, you know, makes it an interesting and usually hard match. But I don't think it's. Some people, they were saying that they like always get destroyed by it and whatever, and it just has not been my experience. But on the other hand, you know, I keep saying that Holo 1 is an awful matchup, and people keep saying that it's not as bad as I think it is. So I guess it varies. So this has a Primeval Titan, this has some good ramp and a way to find and a way to find the bounce land. So I guess I'm going to keep. I'm not particularly excited about this hand. We're playing against Valakut, which I think it's good for us. So this is actually a very interesting turn. So if I get the cavern, what this allows me to do is allows me to next turn be able to explore and play another land, setting up Azusa for next turn. On the other hand, if I get the bounce land, this allows me to next turn get to Steerings first, and then play the Simic Growth. But it also gives me the out to make Amulet a draw, so I am going to take the bounce land here. It's close though. It was close, so I would think it was worth considering. I think I'll be a bit good. Want to help me update the spreadsheet with some more matchups? Yeah, sure, dude. Let me know. Let me know with matchups you want me to talk about, and I will for sure help you out with that. There we go. We finally found the amulet. Because we found the amulet, I'm going to play this. And next turn we actually have a Titan on turn 4. Barring some amount of crazy interaction from my opponent, we should have a prime time next, not next turn, but the following one. And we have interaction for something like Prismatic Omen or stuff like that. Search for Tomorrow is fine. We still don't know whether they are on the Breach list or they are on a Scapeshift list. Okay. No, I'm so dumb. That was so dumb. I think I just lost myself the game. I think I just lost the game because I made that stupid mistake. I should have, of course, played the Tularia West first. What am I doing? What am I doing? Do they have the Primeval Titan? Yes, I'm actually running this sideboard right now. So I'm gonna concede here. There we cannot be the result Primeval Titan because that Titan is going to kill all of our Titans. So this is the sideboard that I'm running right now. You can check it out, the full list here. So that was just straight up punt, no excuses. I was talking about whatever I was talking about, and I totally forgot to. I totally missequenced. So that was just a stupid mistake by me. It's my fault, and yeah, no excuses. Now these lists are running Dumping Sphere, so maybe I want one over the one of the Explorers. But usually in this matchup I want to go for like full, as straightforward as possible. Actually, it's probably better to have another Rex Sage rather than the Abrade, since I'm not really killing anything. So yeah, you can check out the list and see how we've been doing things. But man, I need to pay more attention. I cannot be I cannot be doing multiple things at the same time here. I have a lot of interaction, so I can stop my opponent from getting there for a while. So I'm gonna keep. So I just hope that we do not get blown out. That's not great. So I just need to hope that they don't have a Trivelder here. Trivelder would be kind of bad. Also, I don't have bounce lands, so this kind of has to be my prime time because I cannot afford to transmute this ones into a prime time later on. We're not in the best spot. But I think this hand was worth it. I think the upside is pretty high. Of course, as I was just saying, we get this demolished by Trivelder, but whatever. Hopefully they have something like a Farseek. That would be the best case scenario for us, or like they want to play a Damping Sphere on turn 2 or something like that. Hopefully they also kept a super interactive draw. But yeah. Thanks everybody for hanging out today. We are playing some Amulets. We're trying to rally back from a terrible performance yesterday. And currently we already won 3 in the previous league. so let's forget about that. That never happened. Don't worry about it. And now we are currently 1-0. We just beat humans on the previous match, and now we are 1 game down against Scapeshift. My opponent is also double Q. This is just... I hate when people do that. I hate when people... I mean, there's no decisions here, okay? You are clearly somewhere else. You are double Qing, or you are, you know, just like... Let's just play the freaking game, you know? If you're like... If you're sitting and playing Magic Online, you know, why do you want to make your opponent just wait for you to, you know, do whatever? It just... Anyway. It's a little bit annoying. Is he joking right now? Really it takes them 30 seconds to do an action. They're definitely double queuing. They are most definitely double queuing. It just takes, I mean, it would be nice if we're, you know, kind of like Hearthstone or Eternal, where you have like that little timing thing, and if you don't do anything for a while, you just lose the game. You know, it would be cool if that were a thing, honestly, because this can be really frustrating. The fact that you have like all the time in the world allows for this kind of thing to happen. You know, you can't really. You cannot comfortably double queue Eternal because, you know, things happen fast and you need to, you know, if you don't do anything for too long on one of your matches, you just, you know, just get timed out. You just lose the game. So this is one of the things, like, the interface itself kind of allows for this kind of things to happen. And it's a little bit annoying. But well, looks like my opponent is back. They finally figured it out. Black. Does my opponent have Slaughter Games? I think my opponent might have Slaughter Games over there. I am playing the Amulet this turn because if I draw a bounce land, I can potentially do some shenanigans on the following turn. By, you know, searching up Azusa and being able to transmute on the same turn. So that's why I did play the Amulet there. I guess if I draw Boros Garrison, that... No, that still works. If I draw Boros Garrison, that still works. I can still do that. I can Pact Tron Azusa, have enough mana, enough green mana to pay for my Pact, and then on the following turn I can do it again. Just meet again. Nature's Claim. You got it. Now what? Ikasi, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the subscription, man. I really appreciate it. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that prime time value. Sharing that prime time value with me. I will update the subs. Thank you very much for the subscription. I promise I will get together with a friend of mine who is a graphic designer, and I'm gonna ask him to create a primetime emote for the channel. So that's going to be the first emote, which I'm pretty excited about. Hopefully, hopefully we'll figure that out over the weekend when I see him. But I definitely asked him about it, and he said that he was down to help out. So that's cool. But yeah, I definitely want a primetime emote. Okay, so my opponent is. They apologized about taking too long. They say that there's like a team discussion for a Beam event. Oh, thanks, Ikasi. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Glad that you are enjoying the stream. I'm trying to make some good quality content for Amulet, which I don't think. But yeah, there's not that much Amulet content out there, so I'm trying to be, the one that's creating it. I'm letting my opponent know that I'm streaming. That's why I was asking them to whether they were double queuing or not. Well, my opponent thinks I think I'm actually. It's getting really hot in here, so I'm gonna go get my. I'm gonna go get a fan. I'll be right back. Not F6. Okay. So we're back, and my opponent's still taking a minute. Man, that punt on the previous game, that was so bad. To be fair, because we had an actual pact in hand instead of an Azusa, I don't think that we would have been able to win anyway. I don't think. But it would have given us the best chance, I think. Horny vegan. Okay. Thanks for the follow. So, is that like a personal description of yourself or something? Because that's funny. Um. So I have to update that we now have 65 followers. That's awesome. 65. All right. So my opponent took all that time, and then they played land and passed. Cool. Whoa, 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 whoa. Nope. Take it easy. So we're gonna play the Grove and pass the turn. Okay. So now if my opponent has a prime time, we're actually in a lot of trouble. If my opponent has Summoner's Pact into prime time, then we're actually in an okay spot. Ooh, ugh, that was rough for them. So Blue Pact is our best draw right here. That's the best thing that we can be doing. If we get Blue Pact here, we're actually in a really good spot. I think we just straight out win if we find a Blue Pact here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My opponent doesn't even have enough lands to Balakut my Primeval Titan out of the game. I guess Amulet is also pretty good, but I think I'm slamming either way. It's really bad if my opponent has Primeval Titan. It's okay if my opponent has Scapeshift. So this makes things even worse. So what I can do is I can try to find a bounce land here. That's what I'm gonna try to do. I think it's worth it to do here. If I find a bounce land, I can actually transmute for a pact here. Cool. So that's good. So now I can float some mana. Play a Garrison. And I can transmute for a Blue Pact, setting up for next turn. And I also have Spell Pierce backup in case I need it. Blue Pact. And go. I note that I still have double blue to pay in this turn if I need to. Of course, that would not be great because, you know, it's probably gonna be bad business for me. Green, green. They just have the actual Primeval Titan. Yeah, I'm forced to pack this, which is really unfortunate. Okay. Yeah, if that Primeval Titan resolves, that Primeval Titan goes and gets more fetch lands. And then the fetch lands basically blank my Primeval Titan. So that's why I did that. Here I don't even have Spell Pierce backup, so yeah, this just did not work out. This game was just... I was just too slow out of the gates, and I just did not get there. That sucks. What can I do here? What can I do here? What are my outs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 mana, so I will have 8 up to 8 next turn, so I can still not haste the Primeval Titan. I do not have an extra blue mana to really do anything. So I can just play this and hold up Vesuva to potentially copy Ghost Quarter to cut my opponent off Valakuts. It's not pretty. At one point when this deck was all the rage, I was running Tech Edges in the sideboard and they were actually really good. Just have another problem with Titan. Oh, they just have Scapeshift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, I'm dead to this. Okay, we died. We're 1-1. Usually I consider the Scapeshift matchup to be positive, but it was just we were just too slow. That match up, you know, of course I punted super hard on the very first game, so it is nobody's fault but mine. I'm just gonna make sure that my opponent has enough mountains. You know, sometimes they drew a couple of, you know, too many mountains or whatever, but I don't think it's gonna be an issue. But once all the triggers go on the stack, I'm just going to concede. Yeah, my opponent has enough mountains, I'm going to concede. Give them the GGs and move on to the next match. So that was rough. It's especially bad because, you know, I feel bad whenever I'm trying to, you know, create good quality content, and then I just go and, you know, get a little bit too caught up in my talking, and I totally forgot about the fact that yes, probably playing Amulet first gives us a better chance. In any case, thanks to everybody who's watching right now. I swear I play better than what just happened. I swear, I promise. I woke up this. I can't even talk anymore. I had a really bad headache this morning, and it's not completely gone, so I am a little bit out of it, for which I apologize. But I really want to start streaming consistently. So that's why, even though, as you see, I'm not I'm not on my brightest day, I still am trying to, you know, create some content for you guys. So I guess my opponent accepted the match, but then they left. Maybe they went to the bathroom or something? Alright, there we go. This hand, okay, we have some cantrips. We have multiple cantrips actually. Yeah, I think I can keep this hand. We really need the threat, so I'm going to try to prioritize to get getting Tolarian West really high. And we're playing against Hollow One, my arch nemesis. My arch nemesis. Wow, we almost whiffed with that. We've been... I try to not complain about being unlucky or stuff like that, you know, but we've been just so unlucky, like for real. For real, we just had some miserable draws, really. I guess I'm doing this. Explore into steerings. That's not the worst, I guess. At least I can kill that thing. Wow. I think I actually won the fountain here. Makes future Vesuvas, and it makes future bounce lands much better. So basic swamp into basic mountain. Okay, so they naturally drew them. At least they didn't fetch for a basic. When they fetch for a basic, that's when I need to be worried, cause that screams Blood Moon. Screams Blood Moon. It's actually so fitting that my opponent's name is Random Decisions, and they are playing Hollow One. It's like the best possible. Is what makes the most sense for them, really. What do you got over there? Okay, so I guess the Flamewake Phoenix is not coming this turn at least, so that's good. So do I want to Tracker or do I want to Azusa? Because I have enough lands, I think I want to Azusa. Ooh, also I get to blow up explosives this turn if I Azusa. So that's cool. Play Azusa. Play Karen. Name Giant. And play Sunhome. Pay 1. Explosives on 1. And there's no need for me to do this right now, but I just want to, you know, stem the bleeding. And I think that the best way for me to do that is by trying to kill this adept here, which will also prevent... Sure. What do we get? That's hilarious. We discarded every single card. Okay. F3. So I can still do this at the beginning of combat. Holy crap. Alright. So this was like the best decision ever then. Okay, now we have a Primeval Titan at least. So in beginning of combat, I can blow this up in response to the Flamewave Phoenix's triggers, and that prevents the Ferocious triggers from resolving. So now they attack with Ghast. Do I block or do I not block? I think I don't block. No, I don't block. Because next turn I can play multiple colonies or multiple fountains depending on what I think it's best. And hi Andrea, how you doing? And that's game over. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't even need to do that then. Play this again. Do this. I guess I will advance this so I have more green sources. Get Primeval Titan. Cast Primeval Titan. Fetch. Bodos Garrison. Slayer Stronghold. I also get 2 Bog to nuke the yard for value. This is great. My opponent just concedes, I think. Yep. Cool. All good, all good. We've been doing a fair amount of losing yesterday and today, but I'm trying to bring it back, trying to take it home, or however you want to say it, but trying to make some winning for a change. We've had some really tough breaks. Tracker out. I want Rex Sages. I probably don't want all the Explorers. I want Primeval Titans. I can probably side out the land. Didn't I side out the land? I thought I sided out the land. Alright, there we go. Yeah, I probably want to side out a Ghost Quarter actually here. There we go. You're gonna stream Tron? Dude, Tron is just good. It's not the most skill intensive deck ever, but it's just a good deck. I mean, what can you really say against Tron? I'm gonna mulligan this hand. Doesn't do anything. This is way better. Rex Sage. Do I top this? I think I top this. Yeah, I don't know. I just despise Tron, but that's just me, honestly. I know that the deck is good. I just don't like that the deck is good, basically. But yeah, it's just really good. I think I would be winning way more if I were playing Tron than if I were now that I'm playing Amulet. But it's just, I don't know. I just don't find it interesting. It doesn't really excite me. Okay, so what do we got here? So turn 1 we cannot Amulet, which is really unfortunate. And maybe that's a good enough reason for me to try to get lucky and bottom the Rex Sage. Cool, Ikasi, see you later, dude. I don't think this will be probably my last league, so yeah. I'll probably see you tomorrow if anything. But thanks for checking out the stream, and thanks again for the sub. Yeah, I really appreciate it. Have a good one. So yeah, so as I was saying, maybe bottoming the Rex Sage right there is worth it to try and get lucky. But I just really want an answer to an early hollow one, because that's usually the way that they kill us. And the good thing that Rex Sage has is that it basically kills a hollow one, and then it gains 5 life when you block an angler, or it okay, they have the adept, so they have an adept draw, so then keeping Rex Sage is of course way worse for me. Okay, incoming inquiry. Did this deck ever win anything? I feel like it's a deck that always barely doesn't top 8. Like always people are playing this to like an 11-3 result or something like that. That's like barely not top 8. But I don't think that Hollow One has ever like won any tournament or like a GP or an Open or whatever. Thoughtseize. Yeah, so we're done here. My opponent is swinging for a bunch, and now they're getting rid of my Amulet. Yikes. Okay, Thoughtseize bug one time. Thoughtseize bug one time. Let's draw Amulet off the top. Amulet off the top. Amulet off the top. Nope. So I guess now we're kind of looking for... At this point we're looking for an untapped land, because I really need to kill this hollow one this turn. Wait, does my opponent have Blood Moon in their deck? They did not fetch for a basic swamp when they perfectly could have, so maybe they do not have Blood Moon. This is so sad. 5, 6, 7. I am going to die to these like anemic beats. But there's nothing I can do about it. My opponent took my Amulet and it really got me. Next turn I can Rex Sage and Explosives on one, but I still die. Oh, that's actually lethal. Never mind. Never mind. Oh, they wanted to show me. I also had the Bolt. I didn't need that Bloodghast. I also had the Bolt, okay? So, you were dead. Got it, opponent. I was dead. I was dead indeed. Okay. Anything I want to change? Just Explosive seems so bad. Explorer also seems awful, but... Maybe Fire Spout? Maybe something like this. I don't even know, guys. I don't even know. Like the Hollow One matchup is something that I've played countless times, but I still cannot yet figure out. There's something about this matchup that I just cannot. I cannot find the right combination or the right. Okay, so here I am going to leave myself out. So I'm going to lead on Tulare West. So we will see what my opponent does, and that will give me the option of next turn either playing double Amulet if I want to, or I can even play double Tribe Scout, Amulet plus Tribe Scout, double Amulet plus Tribe Scout. So I can do one, play Gruul Turf and play Scout, and then play both Amulets. So if my opponent does not have turn 1 Inquiry, which they always freaking have, then I should be in a good spot. I guess they can also have Thoughtseize. But if they have Inquiry, I just give up. This matchup is just too frustrating. Turn 1 Adept. Okay. So we're doing it. No. Wrong card. This one I want to cast. And I think I'm actually going to go ahead and cast both. I'm gonna do this. And I'm gonna bounce the turf itself. I'm gonna play the Scout and the second Amulet and pass the turn here. And now I'm really pressuring my opponent. Now they really need to find something this turn, or they are dead. Thoughtseize doesn't do it. Grudge doesn't do it. I guess Grudge steals me from another turn. Thoughtseize doesn't do it. Double Thoughtseize does it, I guess. They shocked. They have the double Thoughtseize, you gotta be kidding me. No, they have the bolts. Okay. Azusa. Kozilek's return. I mean, I guess I'm setting up for next turn. There's not much I can do. If my opponent has the bolt, they have the... If my opponent has the moon, they have the moon. Or if they have another Thoughtseize, or if they have another Thoughtseize, they have another Thoughtseize. Yep. What? Don't tell me they have Surgical or something like that. Don't tell me they have Surgical or something like that. Or they have an answer to an Amulet. They have a Grudge, Ancient Grudge. Red mana, Flame Beloved. What? My opponent just put themselves dead on board. Alright. I will take it. I will take it. I guess my opponent does not know how busted double Amulet is. Yep, I guess they're just not aware, huh? Haste this guy. Bounce this, I guess. Why would you leave me with the prime time in hand there? Yeah, that was... Alright, I'll take it. Yeah, my opponent just disconnected themselves. I think that they realized they made a really bad mistake and they were upset about it. But yes, I should have not won that game. But it feels really good to beat Hollow One. Even if it's only because my opponent made a play that led them dead on board. Alright, here we go. 2-1. Can we salvage that 3-2? Can we even 4-1? It's killing me. It's killing me. The anxiety is killing me. Okay, what do we got here? Just please, Moto, please give us an easy matchup. Give us Boggles. Give us Dredge. So what do we have here? We have a turn 1 Amulet, we have a prime time, but we have a turn 4 prime time. No, a turn 5 prime time. I'm gonna keep this. This hand has a lot of upside. A lot of ways that this we actually have Cavern. I guess we get punished if we are like paired against something like Burn would be bad. Humans, I guess it's also pretty bad. Rexage. Rexage, please. No, okay, that's not terrible. That's not great. I guess Bordos Garrison will allow me to have a turn 4 prime time. Turn 5. Play Teleria. So even if I draw a semi-growth, I can transmute this coming turn. Setting up for prime time on the following turn. Drawing an Azusa would be sweet. Ha! Gotcha, opponent. My hand sucks. Yeah, cast that freebooter. Ha ha ha. My hand is awful. You get nothing on me. Give me something, deck. That's not awful at all. Not awful. So I'm gonna play this. This allows me for transmuting next turn. Don't have a 1-drop. They do have the 1-drop. Because Noble Hierarch is the least bad of them, or is it the most bad of them? I don't even know really. But I think this coming turn I'm going to be transmuting for explosives and send it up on 2. Yep, preemptively send it up on 2. Okay, so this Mantis Rider, they have the Phantasmal image. Yeah, that's okay. This is a clock. This is a clock. All right. So what to do? What to do here? What to do? That is an awful, awful, gross, disgusting, terrible draw. I am really unfortunate that I just drew that card. That was really bad. Yeah, so I'm going to preemptively play an Explosives on 2 here. So my opponent cannot do anything. In terms of like meddling Magi in my prime time or whatever. and I think this is better than... I think this is gonna be better than playing a Ballista. Although a Ballista can kill one of these Mantis Riders if I need to. Also, actually meddling mage is really bad for me anyway, right? Because I need to pact in order to find my Tiny Time next turn, and that pact is actually going to be... Yeah, I'm gonna get God here. Do they just have lethal? Nice. Nice. Just swing for 10. So I guess I die. Draw step. Yeah, I don't think I can win here anyway, so I think I'm just conceding. Yep. Alright, so against humans, usually our game plan is get the counter spell out, get the bog out, get the tracker and explorers out, and get in all the removal. The queen. I don't want the tracker. Yeah. Rex Age as a one-off is fine, but not more than that. We side out one of the prime times, and we side out one of the steerings. Was that what I did last time? Yeah, I think. So basically, my plan is to like try to try to kill them. I guess kill all their things, have all the interaction possible, and then take it from there. If we can interact with their board is their only way of interacting with us, so they cannot really interact with us on the stack. So by interacting with their board, we actually beat their interaction, and our cards are actually better than their cards overall, pound for pound. So I think this is, you know, these two guys, this is a stabilizer and this is a time buyer. Rex Sage is mostly because of Damping Sphere, which they could or they could not have. I still don't know, honestly. But we'll see. While my opponent makes their cyber decisions, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. Be right back. Okay, we are back. We're gonna be on the play with a very reasonable hand. Turn 1 Tribe Scout is actually pretty huge in this matchup. They have like no actual ways to deal with this, and it chumps, it ramps, it does it all. I guess Damping Sphere would be the only real issue, but I still have ways to play around it. Like I still have ways to tag it by, like, you know, floating mana, then bouncing, then replaying explosives. That kind of makes me want to play explosives on 2 right here, actually. I know that I might need 2 explosives on 3 later on, but I just think that explosives on 3, explosives on 2 is just so much more important in this matchup. another vial. Must be nice to always have the vial. This is not bad at all, actually. Because I drew this, I actually am not going to Explosives on 2 this turn. I'm going to Explosives on 2 on the following turn. I guess this is bad if my opponent draws exactly, has like exactly Freebooter. My opponent has Thalia, I don't care. If my opponent has Meddling Mage, I don't care. But if they have exactly Freebooter plus land, then it's troublesome. Yeah, so I guess I do have a 2-drop here. Champion into... Ugh, they do have the Freebooter. They do have the Freebooter. I guess hopefully Baloth buys a little bit of time here. Yeah, you can take my Explosives. I mean, he cannot attack and he's tapped out, so I'm going to do this on F6. Get my F6 value. Holy crap, alright. So I guess we're not drawing good cards, huh? Guess we're not drawing good cards. Go! Prime time would be nuts. Removal for this Rebooter would be really good. Something that's not lands would be great. I think if I draw Vesuva, I might actually copy that canopy right there. Hierarch. Okay. Do they also have the Lieutenant? Of course they also have the Lieutenant. Wow, this deck looks so it's just a Thalia, okay. This deck looks so absurd sometimes. And so anemic some other times. So K return would be pretty good. What else would be pretty good? I think I can take 4 here. It gives me the most options for next turn, or 5, whatever. This smells like a draw step freebooter though. I'll take 5 here. I'm not going to block with my Baloth because, you know, they for sure have something coming up over there. I don't want to chump with the Baloth. Baloth is gonna be slowing down this Thalia here, so I am only gonna be chumping this guy. I'm not going to be I mean, this Baloth is not trade. They for sure have a 2-drop, so I'm gonna show them the card that they know about. Oops. And pass the turn. Draw step freebooter here. Yep. But fortunately, I'm this unlucky. Yep. Play your land, pass the turn. This is how we do it here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I draw Tolaria West, I still can get there. If I draw Amulet, it's a blank. If I draw a Primetime, it's of course amazing, or a Pact. Both, either of them are good. Hornet Queen is actually really interesting on this board. Hornet Queen would actually buy us a lot of time. Primetime is of course our best draw. That's the one that opens the most doors. Ballista would be interesting. Ballista would be interesting. Because I want to keep... usually with this deck, it's very often that you want to hold up a bounce land in your hand, because with all your ramp things and Amulet, the bounce land represents a ton of mana in some scenarios. But because I am, you know, just basically drawing dead for... I'm just drawing so many blanks, and I'm actually entering desperation mode. I need to make something like Tolero West a good out for me. And for that to happen, what I need to be doing is I need to actually play this out, so I have enough mana to transmute, plus play Primetime next turn. Of course, all that I was saying just means nothing, because my opponent also has the Meddling Mage. So here I'm actually going to chump one of these. I'm gonna just take 6 damage. I want to, you know, try to save the most amount of damage for before. Basically chop while I can before my opponent stops dropping down Mantis Riders. But yeah, we have a lot of outs here, but we'll see what our deck delivers. A blank, of course it delivers a blank. I guess this can chump, so we're gonna play her. We don't have Tracker in the deck, so there's no value in holding up a land that my opponent already knows about. We just pass the turn. At least this Bailoff is stopping my opponent's clock quite a bit. But yeah, I just need to draw business. If I draw business, I actually have a pretty good shot. My opponent has extra. Oh, Lieutenant, sure. They still make the same attack. And I think I chump with Scout here. Business, please. Give me business, please. Please, please. Please. That's actually amazing. Okay. Let's wait a second. I can abrade his dude. Okay, what could they have for 3 mana? What can they have? Bugler doesn't do anything. Yeah, this is actually great. Okay, thanks deck. Much appreciated. 3 damage to target creature. Okay. Explosives on 2. Go. So now I just need to like chump this champion repeatedly. So this explosive just buys me some time, but it doesn't win the game, not even close to it. It just buys me a little bit of time. Yeah, they're just sending everybody in. Sousa is gonna jump in front of this. Bailoff will jump in front of this, and I can take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't think I want to take 6 though. I think I'm kind of forced to take those 6, because I cannot really beat another Meddling Mage. But at this point I think my play is kind of forced, which is really unfortunate. On the plus side, they don't their vial is on 3, so whatever they do, they need to do it like right now, so I can play around whatever it is that they do. They just have another mage. Fuck me. They just have the other mage. They just have the other mage. Oh, yes, for sure. That makes sense. Okay, so if I find a way to transmute, I can actually get a walking ballista here. Walking ballista would be the nuts. You assume they're gonna. If I find a pact, I can also queen, right? Okay, so I have a ton of outs here. Please, deck, deliver. Please, deck. I am begging you. Give me a pact. Give me Hornet Queen. Give me even like both Costed Return and a Braid and what's his name? Whoa! Now that is some next level shit right there. Now that is some next level shit right there. My opponent naming Hornet Queen over there is really smart of them. That makes a lot of sense. That's really good. My opponent is very smart. Okay, so I lose to Reflector Mage. And I am forced into, my opponent will attack all because I am forced into champion this champion. Die to Reflector Mage. If my opponent attacks all, I need to champ the champion, so that's definitely the correct play. Yep. Alright. Here. Right here. Right now. Walking Ballista. Walking Ballista is what I want to see. Holy crap. Alright. So now K return isn't even good enough. Neither K return nor Fire Spout because this champion is just my opponent got my opponent knows what's up. This is some very smart things to name because these three things I can actually transmute for. So this actually gives me way more outs to draw in any of these cards. Of course I'm gonna draw a blank, right? But because I have still the full 3 Trollaria West in my deck, it's still, this is the best thing that my opponent could have named. It's funny that we drew 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lands and 6 spells. When my draw steps were 1, 2, 3. So in 7 draw steps, I drew 3 spells. Cool. And also, it's really unfortunate that all of my lands, like even a Colony Garden would have bought me a turn, I guess. Yeah, that was just variance. I think that we played exactly to our outs, and I think that I don't think there was any play that I would change, really. I think that I played that game just fine. It's just we never ever saw any spells. We just did not draw any spells. And of course you cannot really win games of Magic when you don't draw spells. I like this hand. Keep. The reason why I like this hand is because if I find a bounce land, which I have 7 looks at, this is actually a turn 3 prime time. Whatever grave. Is this Grixis Shadow? I always play in my 5th match against Grixis Shadow and I always lose. Yep, it's Grixis Shadow. This is interesting right here. Do they take the Amulet or do they take the Steerings? I imagine they take Amulet because people are always super afraid of Amulets. But it's probably correct to take the Steerings here. I want to minimize the chances that I get lands, basically. It's the only thing I'm missing. My opponent does indeed take the Amulet. We drew a bounce land, so I guess my opponent is a genius. I think I want Colony over Cavern. The reason for this is that I think that my opponent is on Grixis Shadow. If my opponent is on Grixis Control and they have cryptic commands and stuff, then of course I want the Cavern over the Colony, right? But because the way that I lose here is if my opponent clocks me a little bit too fast. They have a Thoughtseize too. No, they have the Opt. Okay. So maybe my opponent is on Grixis Control and I just get extremely punished by getting the Colony. That's not gonna do anything instead of getting Cavern, which is probably gonna win me the game. My opponent is fetching and shocking super aggressively, so I think they are on Shadow. They have the Thoughtseize too, of course. Of course. Play Steerings. Sure. Almost whiff. So here I'm actually going to play this. The reason for this is that I don't want my opponent to be able to kill my Azusa, especially if they have like discard spell plus something else. I don't want my opponent to be able to kill my Azusa, and if I play like something else in order to try to get value from my Colony, my opponent is actually going to be able to kill my Azusa in response to the Colony trigger. So I want to make sure that I play a non-trigger land right after I play my Colony, right after I play my Azusa, in order to prevent them from getting value. And my opponent is 100% on Grixis Shadow now, because they are just like willy-nilly taking damage from their mana base. So at this point I am 100% sure that they are Grixis Shadow. Angler. Smells like an angler. That's an angler. So at least I get to do some ramping this turn. I get to do some ramping with Azusa. And I think since my opponent tapped out, I'm actually going to play Colony and play Bounce Land and bounce the Colony. So I have some extra champ blockers for next turn, and I can untap. If I draw a Titan, I can just like slam it, no big deal. And the question is, do we attack? I don't think I attack, but do I chump? I think I do chump. I think I do chump, especially if my opponent has like a Liliana or something. I want to make sure I get my chump in while I can, so I can buy the most amount of draw steps possible. So there's the angler, chump. Are they gonna TBR this? Alright, that's fine. So I assume my opponent has double Timur Battle Rage then, because that's an extremely aggressive Timur Battle Rage. It's very far from lethal. Can I swing here? Is it crazy if I swing? I mean, I can swing. Is it crazy? My opponent clearly does not have a Death Shadow. So I think Azusa is feeling frisky. My opponent wants to trade a snap, a no value snap for this. I'm down. But I don't think this is crazy. My opponent clearly does not have a Death Shadow in hand, because otherwise they would have played it last turn. My opponent very likely has a Snapcaster in hand. Snapcaster plus probably Stub or something like that. So that's a Thought Scour. Another Thoughtseize. I am chumping for sure this turn too. Getting my value while I can. Boom. Oh yeah, that was an extremely aggressive Timor Battle Rage. I'm not sure that was correct from my opponent. They have snappers. Or they have another angler. And they are representing stab really hard. Okay, so we just need to draw... all these cheap shots, I think... Oh, they do not have stab. Okay, so if I draw Tolaria West, or I draw Primetime, or I draw one of my pacts, I would just win. There it is. There it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Summoner's Pact. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Play land. Bounce Fountain. Replay Fountain. 6. Play Primeval Titan. Yeah, my opponent should not have tapped out. I think that there's actually a ton of value into... Like, there's not really that much value in getting the Thoughtseize still in the yard. And I think there's a lot of value in representing stuff right there. So I think that was 100% not correct from my opponent. Now, here's very interesting, though. Do I think my opponent has Snap? I'm pretty sure my opponent has Snap. So I think I'm going to do... Bog plus T-West. Now my opponent's Snap is not gonna do anything, and any bounce land represents another Primetime. Do they have Terminate or something? Opt is fine. Also, worst case scenario, this Primetime is trading with this angler. Okay. Yeah, my opponent's not attacking. Yep. This game is pretty over now. Now that I know that my opponent has nothing, I think I'm in a really good spot. Basically, my opponent is forced to chump here. And I can... So if my opponent double blocks, I trade with the angler. So what I can do, which is actually interesting, is I can play Scout, activate this on Azusa, and make Azusa get in there. I can even activate on Scout, which seems even better. So I'm gonna do this. Play Scout. Haste Scout. Go to combat. If my opponent wants to trade with Primetime, they need to double block it. And this gets some cheap shot damage in. My opponent will, one of my opponent's anglers will actually die. And the most interesting part is that I get to second main play my Azusa. If I am out of chump blockers, that is. And next turn I can just, my opponent will at least take one. Not if they double block here, they just take 4. And next turn I can transmute for a ballista and kill them. So that's fine. So they go down to 2. And I can play Azusa, but I think it's better for me to play around Koldogan's command, so I'm not going to play the second Azusa, and I'm gonna use this Scout to chump. So they cannot haste the Death Shadow here. So this scout is 100% chomping over here, and even battle rage doesn't get them there, and they cannot interact with my Tolaria West. And I next turn I just transmute for Ballista and just ping them for 2 and win. So that was an interesting game, interesting ending to that match. I won Dismember for sure. I won Second Cavern for sure. I won Explosives to kill Death Shadows. And I think I won Hornet Queen. Don't think I won Drex Sage. Not the biggest fan of Explore, and we can probably take out Ghost Quarter, and we can probably even take out... No, I don't think so. Or yes, maybe we can take out 1 or 2 amulets. I can probably take out a basic forest actually. Take out a basic forest, bring in a Baloth. Just to chomp my way through. And take it from here. Don't want braids, don't want sweepers. Yeah, this looks fine. This looks okay. Okay, sweet. Oh crap, I actually have to send a couple of emails and I totally forgot. And it's 1:30 already. Yikes. Am I ballsy enough to keep this? It's like my opponent has the discard spell for this. But my opponent has the discard spell anyway. Whatever. This hand is just so good. If I just draw lands for the rest of the game, I think I just win. Faithless Looting. That's cool. So they are on the looting list then. So I imagine they have Mishra's Bubbles and a slower, a shorter land count. It would be sweet to draw something like Grove of the Burn Wheelers or something like that. Because of how important it is for me to find a land. Yep, because of how important it is for me to find land, I'm actually going to lead on steerings here. Aaron K. Kent, W. Kent, thanks for following. Sweet. So, what? I thought I already had 65 followers. I guess I didn't. Okay, so I have 65 followers then. Sweet, thanks for following. Bounce land, yeah, I guess I'll get into Lower West. This is not good. This is not good at all. We are approaching dangerous territory right here. We are approaching dangerous territory right here. The fact that it on top, there's only 2 lands in our 28 line deck in the top. Is that 10, 15, 14 cards? Is quite a bit unfortunate. Quite a bit unfortunate. So what happens here? They Thoughtseize? Yep, they Thoughtseize. At least that means they don't Angler. Oh, they do Angler. I guess I really want to get that clock going, which makes sense. This is definitely a smart play from opponent. They were not able to find Thought Scours and more enablers, so they're kind of forced into this play. Even them drawing a second fetch land would have been pretty good for them, or a first fetch land, I guess. So here we go for the YOLO play. Amulet. We can actually do better than the YOLO play. So this. Scout. Second Amulet. Alright, so if my opponent has Shatter, I'm not playing around Shattering Spree, none of that crap. We are going for the YOLO win, okay? I am the group on Facebook with you, and I actually play this deck at all major events. Have a 1k and a 5k top 8 with the deck so far. Nice, dude. Nice. Yeah, this is gonna be mostly an Amulet stream. So for sure, if you enjoy Amulet content, this is gonna be the place to be. This is gonna be mostly an Amulet stream. I stream other decks sometimes too, but Amulet is my love and my passion. So I mostly play Amulet. Um, okay, so my opponent opts. That's actually really good for me. I guess they can kill my scout here. They thought cease. Okay, so they need to find something else right now. They really need to find something else right now, like untap land and stub. Their 4 cards need to have an untap land and a stubborn denial in there. Otherwise, this game is over. I guess they can have surgical. I guess they can have surgical. So there's that. I'm gonna start here. And note that in order to play around surgical, and I am going to do this in this order. The order usually does not matter, but because I'm playing specifically around surgical, I'm going to do this. I'm going to bounce the gemstone, and I play the land of the scout first too, just because basically in this case. But so I'm gonna play Teleria West. Okay. 1, 2. I float the mana. So if my opponent actually has the surgical and I cannot get a Primeval Titan here, what I will do is I will get a Susa. This is of course terrible for me, but I think that the upside is so high that it's definitely worth me going for it, and I did go for it and I got there. So if I get surgical and they surgical me response to pact, I'm in trouble because I need to pay for my pact on my next turn. So what I do then is I just play my second land. I go get a Susa and I play my second land and I play a Grultorf again, bouncing this Tuleria West. And what that does is, I'm not in the best spot anymore. I mean, this is just a win, right? But I'm not in the best spot anymore. But at least I have, an out. I just don't die, and I actually develop my board, and I can potentially have another Primeval Titan on the following turn. Play the deck since before Summer Bloom got banned, so I am with you. I love the deck. Yeah, the deck there's no deck like it in Magic. It's not even in Modern. There's just not a deck like this in Magic, period. The deck is just so sweet. Like, so many awesome play patterns, so many possible plays, so many lines that you need to carefully choose, and I also it's kind of like a masochist thing for me, but I guess, but it's like somehow I kind of enjoy when a deck punishes misplays, because it forces me to be extremely tight. And this even happened earlier. We lost a match to Scapeshift, basically because I played 2 cards in the opposite order, and I went from winning to losing. I mean, I guess not winning, but having a pretty good chance of winning to straight up losing, because of a sequencing thing. If I had played the lands on the opposite order, we were fine. And this is actually pretty cool here. My opponent is at 11, so what I can do is I can go get Sunhome plus Gemstone Mine. And what this will do is this will allow me to, even if my opponent has Slaughter Pact and Simian Spirit Guide to play under upkeep, I can still play around that by doing this, and I still have green mana in my turn in order to pay for my pact. And now I float this mana. I give my Primeval Titan double strike, and I have 6, and we manage to get the 3/2. Man, this has been rough. My record with the deck, when I started streaming, it got to a point when my record was 35-5, and now it went down south really quick. Now I'm 48-21, which is not great. I mean, it's still okay. It's still okay, but coming from such an absurd record, and then I very rarely do not cash leagues in Magic Online with Amulet, and yet it happened twice in the last 2 days, which is pretty crazy. I had 600 play points, and now I have like 132 because we just won that match. It's crazy. Okay, this is the list that I've been running, and the list has looked. I don't want to say that I'm in love with the list, but I kind of am. So maybe that's wrong. But I've been really enjoying the tracker. I played against a lot of blue-white control or blue-white red control, stuff like that. I played a lot of that crap in the past couple of leagues. So having the main deck tracker instead of the Explorer can be pretty huge. And you know, Explorer is bar none the worst card in the deck. So so trimming on those is not awful. The main deck Rexage, I think, it has earned its spot, you know, every single time. Same thing with the Ballista. This is just a staple for me. Explosives, it's actually a question of whether do we want the second one here. I've seen people considering this as the main deck, and I don't think it's that crazy, honestly. Explosives is insane against so many matchups. Explosives is just insane against so many matchups that maybe having access to extra explosives in the main is better than having access to the tracker in the main deck. The tracker, of course, is better against control. It's better against John, stuff like that. It's even castable under Blood Moon, and it can really pressure your opponent. So it's definitely a good card that I really enjoy having, at least a one-off in the 75. But you know, maybe it's the time for Explosive. Explosives is insane against humans. Explosives is insane against Shadow, which we just played against. It's decent against control. You can blow up Ascantas and things like that. So it's okay. Usually when I play against control, I just have the one explosive so I can transmute for if I need to. But you know, maybe having the two main deck, I can just side one out and make the swap later for post-board games. Yeah, I like the Rexage. I'm not thinking about the main deck Rexage. I think the main deck Rexage is great. What I'm thinking is whether do I want the tracker in the main over the second explosives. This is the question that I'm asking myself, and honestly, I can see an argument for both. People were talking about Vivian Raid, or however you pronounce that. I am honestly not sure that card is gonna be worth it in the deck. I think Nissa Vital Force might just be better. Somebody said that, you know, they would lend it to me, and if somebody lends me a Vivian Raid, I am down to try it in the tracker slot. But it's like 7 or 8 tickets right now, and there's no way I'm spending that money on that card, and a card that I don't think really does it, you know. So if somebody wants to, you know, actually lend me the Vivian Raid, I'm down to try it out. But I think that just Nissa is gonna be better. I actually really like Nissa in the deck. She does some very, very interesting things. But anyway, this is some food for thought for later. I'm not even sure about this Gruul Turf, honestly. I think it's good and it's worth it. So maybe I should just like add the fourth one with the correct art instead of having the ugly one. Honestly, in all of the matches that I played it just did not really make a difference. I think there was like one match in the past 3 days. Yeah, okay, there you go. So yeah, so you're saying, like, so your Sahili would be in this slot, right? That's what I imagine. I mean, Sahili is interesting. It's just like the mana is just so not free. Just having blue, red, and colorless seems like it's not easy to achieve with this deck. We have like red, So these are our red sources, and these are our blue sources. I guess on blue sources we're not looking that bad. So you have like 7, 11 blue sources and 6, 10 red sources. Yeah, I'm not so sure about Saheeli. I see the idea. I see the idea. Like the scrying value is great, and the scry value is great. And you know, being able to like play a prime time and copy a prime time, and you know the second prime time actually be hasty. I can see how that can be nuts. But Saheeli does absolutely nothing by herself, right? And that is a pretty big issue for me, because we cannot protect her, right? Saheeli does not protect itself. The reason why I like Nissa is that you play Nissa and you plus, and now you have a 5/5 chill in there. And that 5/5 is a pretty good blocker in modern, you know. And then, you know, I have also played Nissa and minus and gotten back a prime time, which was nuts. I have also, you know, ultimated on the following turn, and then every single land you draw is basically like a tracker trigger, which is ridiculous. I have never lost a match where I ultimated Nissa yet. So if I am going to run anything, it's probably going to be something like this, right? Nissa seems like it does, it feels like it does what we want to be doing. No, the 5/5 is until the end of your opponent's turn. So throughout all of your opponent's turn, the 5/5 stays there. Yes, you can. It says until the end of your opponent's turn. Until your next turn, I guess. So you can block with the land, yes. That, which is very much important. Which is very much relevant. But Nissa also, something that it does that is very interesting is that you can and something else that I also did, which I didn't really think of this when I was first playing Nissa, but I was playing a game where I had I was actually playing against Reed Duke. He was playing Mardu, and he had fulminated me, but I had played a Nissa on the previous turn. So I untap, and I look at my hand and I have a Primeval Talent, but I only have 4 mana in play, or I have only 3 lands in play, but just like a regular untapped land. And then what I thought was like, oh, right, I can untap my bounce land. So Nissa actually ramps me for 2. So that's why I actually really liked Nissa when I played her. To be fair, I 5-0'd with her twice, and I drew her in like 2 matches, I think. So, you know, maybe it's one of those things that, you know, I'm kind of like, when it did show up, it was massive. So that's why I kind of like her, and, you know, maybe my opinions are actually a little bit too you know, lopsided or whatever. But yeah, so this would be like the other option that I would try, which I have tested in the past, and I've been quite happy with it. I'm really not sure about BB and Raid, honestly, but the sideboard looks pretty good actually. Baloth has been relevant in multiple matchups. I didn't even expect it to be relevant, like against humans. Just having Baloth as a one-off is actually relevant. Like it blocks most of their ground dudes. I didn't used to bring Baloth before, but now I brought it for the last couple of matches that I played against humans, and it actually did quite a bit of work. Of course, Hornet Queen is the trump card, but you know, still. Anyway, I will wrap it up for today. My headache is not entirely gone, even though it's way better, but I don't think I have enough energy to go through another Amulet League. I will definitely be back tomorrow. We will be playing probably some more Amulet, maybe some other things. But in any case, thanks to everybody who's been watching, everybody who followed, and even the 2 subscribers that we have in the last couple of days. I really appreciate your support, guys, and I will keep you know, trying to stream as consistently as possible, because I really enjoy doing it, honestly. And you know, it's really cool that people enjoy the content as well. Also, I upload all my streams to YouTube. I have a YouTube channel. You can find it in my stream description. and all of my streams are uploaded over there. I think I am uploading them after 24 hours, because Twitch has this thing that they have like exclusivity over the content for 24 hours, and then you can do whatever you want. So today I'm going to upload yesterday's stream, if that makes sense. And yes, and all my streams will be chilling over there, and they will be organized, and you know, with like timestamps, so you can go specifically to the match that you want to check out and stuff like that. In any case, again, thank you very much, and hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Have a good one.